What's up, everyone? Today we're going to know about some forgotten arcade beat-em-up gems that totally earn a comeback. These titles might have slipped through the cracks, but trust me, they still pack a serious punch. Think quirky mechanics, wild characters, and that raw, old-school flavor that just hits different. Whether you're chasing nostalgia or eyeing something fresh yet retro, we're about to unearth some real sleeper hits. Let's get into it. Zero Team. Imagine it is 1993, arcades are buzzing, and Seibu Kaihatsu quietly drops Zero Team, a four-player superhero beat-em-up that never got the spotlight. Pick your hero, ace with his killer kicks, lightning-fast speed, long-arm spin, or tanky Big O, and punch through 6 ninja-infested stages to rescue a kidnapped woman. Combat's a joy. Smash barrels, scooters, crates, anything you can grab, and hurl them at your enemies. Weapons like bazookas and flails. Yep, they're game changers. Knocked down, roll away to dodge follow-ups, a slick twist on old-school gameplay. And the special attack, attack plus jump? It obliterates enemies, but burns your health, so it's all about timing. Graphically, the sprites are smaller than contemporaries, but full of personality. Spin's animations alone are worth a double take, and enemies react with some serious flair. Critics back then gave it a solid but modest score, calling it fun yet repetitive. Here's the coolest part. Zero Team was reborn in late 2020 via Arcade Archives on Switch. November 19th and PS4 December 8th, complete with adjustable difficulty, CRT filters, and global leaderboards. Retro brawler fans, this one's a hidden gem that's now easy to fire up, and just pure arcade fun.
We have a situation down there. Some modern-day pirates have hijacked a huge cruiser.
Dynamite Cop. Dynamite Cop is pure, chaotic arcade fun. Let us assume you and a buddy crashing through a cruise ship, beating up pirates, and rescuing the president's daughter, all while using the wildest weapons you can find. The best pat, you can smack bad guys with giant fish, missiles, or even an arcade cabinet. You pick from 3 tough cops, each with their own cool moves, and jump straight into non-stop fighting. It's fast, it's goofy, and it never takes itself too seriously. The levels are packed with wacky enemies and crazy bosses, and those quick-time button presses that throw in extra action. The whole thing feels like an old-school action movie, just louder and way sillier. It's a short game, but every playthrough is different, especially if you bring a friend. And the Dreamcast version even has a secret bonus retro game you can unlock. If you love arcade games, where everything gets smashed and you're always laughing at what comes next, Dynamite Cop totally delivers. It's the perfect pick for a night of couch co-op and ridiculous, over-the-top brawling. Night Slashers. If you love classic arcade brawlers and spooky stuff, Night Slashers from 1993 is right up your list. Thought of a world where zombies, werewolves, and all sorts of monsters are running wild, and it's up to a team of badass monster hunters to clean house. You get to pick from 3 heroes: Christopher, the stylish European vampire hunter; Jake, a big American brawler with cyber arms; and Hong Hua, a martial arts master from Asia with some cool mystic powers. The gameplay is super simple. You go right, punch everything that moves, and face off against creepy bosses like vampires, Frankenstein's monster, and even Dracula himself. The attacks are flashy, and you can pull off big screen-clearing special moves, but those drain your health a bit, so use them wisely. The game gives horror movie vibes, From graveyards packed with zombies to mad science labs, and all the action is wild and over the top. When I played this game, I literally enjoyed a lot. What makes Night Slashers different is the whole horror atmosphere, the gore, and the campy fun. It's fast, super satisfying to play with friends, and every level throws something unexpected your way. If you're into beat-em-ups with a Halloween twist, Night Slashers is a must-try. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. What happens when you mix dinosaurs, muscle cars, and over-the-top brawling? You get Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, one of the wildest arcade games the 90s ever gave us. This Capcom classic drops you into a crazy future where humans and dinosaurs somehow have to get along. But of course, a bunch of bad guys called the Black Marketeers are making everything worse by hunting the dinos for their own profit. You and your friends can pick from 4 awesome heroes: Jack, Hannah, Mustafa, and Mess, each with their own fighting style and special moves. The gameplay is all about smashing through waves of goons, mutant creatures, and even angry dinosaurs. One minute you're swinging pipes and firing shotguns, the next you're hopping in a bright red Cadillac and running baddies off the road. The animations are so smooth and the action just doesn't slow down. It's pure chaotic fun, whether you're playing solo or teaming up. Throw in some wild bosses and co-op mayhem, and you've got a game that never stops being a blast. If you love beat-em-ups or just want some ridiculous retro action, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs is definitely one to check out. Metamorphic Force. Ever wanted to punch evil monsters as a giant werbeast? That's basically what Metamorphic Force lets you do. Released by Konami in 1993, this arcade beat-em-up throws you and up to 3 friends into a wild, mythological world where a huge baddie named Death's Shadow wants to take over everything. But here is a perk point. You're not just regular heroes. Pick from Ban the martial artist, Claude the suave swordsman, Max the tough boxer, or Ivan the big Russian wrestler. Each of them can morph into a ferocious creature, like a minotaur, werewolf, werepanther, or werebear, as soon as you snag a glowing golden statue. The gameplay is classic side-scrolling action. Punch, kick, and slam your way through waves of weird enemies. Think frogmen, elephant brutes, and lizard warriors. When you transform, you're not just stronger, you get to do crazy smart bomb attacks that clear out the whole screen. The graphics are colourful and super animated, and every boss fight feels epic, from demonic rams to dragons. It's fast, frantic, and perfect for cooperative chaos at the arcade. If you loved games like X-Men or Golden Axe, Metamorphic Force brings that same energy with a beastly twist. It's short, sweet, and pure 90s arcade fun. Violent Storm. Violent Storm is one of those totally over-the-top arcade games you just can't forget once you've played it. Made by Konami in 1993, this beat-em-up drops you into a wild post-apocalyptic city where gangs run rampant. You get to pick from 3 heroes, Wade, Boris, and Kyle, each with their own fighting style. Your goal is classic brawler stuff. Blast through tons of punks and weird bad guys to rescue your friend Sheena. There's never a dull moment. Every level throws bigger gangs, crazier weapons, and wild backgrounds your way. One minute you're fighting in the streets, the next you're bashing bad guys in a wrecked amusement park or speeding train. It's got that crunchy arcade feel. You smash thugs with pipes, chairs, or even just your fists, and the boss battles get absolutely nuts. Co-op mode makes the chaos even better. Grab a buddy and there's double the action and laughs. The whole vibe is drenched in 90s attitude with a killer soundtrack and colourful visuals. Violent Storm is perfect if you want pure, fast-paced arcade fun, loaded with wild moves and non-stop brawling. This game is worth a try. Ninja Baseball Batman. Ninja Baseball Batman is easily one of the craziest, most creative arcade games ever made. Dropped into arcades in 1993 by Irem, this beat-em-up turns classic ninja action on its head. You get to play as one of 4 wacky baseball-themed ninja heroes: Captain Jose, Twin Bats Rhino, Beanball Roger, and Stick Straw, each decked out in wild uniforms and ready to swing for the fences, literally. The story's pretty simple but hilarious. Someone's stolen priceless golden baseball, and it's up to your ninja squad to bash through waves of bizarre enemies and get it back. And we're talking full-on weirdness here. You'll slap around angry living baseballs, giant robot catchers, and all kinds of goofy foes. Every level is packed with crazy visuals and laughs, like fighting on a plane wing or in a city flooded with baseball gear. Gameplay is smooth and packed with fun combos, special moves, and baseball super attacks that wipe out entire screens of enemies. You can play solo, but it's way more nuts with friends in co-op. If you want an arcade brawler that's pure chaos, full of personality, and unlike anything else, Ninja Baseball Batman is a total home run. Undercover Cops. Think beat-em-ups can't get any weirder. Undercover Cops is here to prove you wrong. This 1992 arcade classic from Irem drops you into a trashed, futuristic New York that looks straight out of a nightmare comic. Instead of playing as cookie-cutter cops, you're called city sweepers, total badasses hired to clean up the city the old-fashioned way, with your fists, crazy moves, and anything you can rip out of the ground. You pick from 3 tough heroes: Claude, the karate master who throws fireballs; Bubba, a beefy ex-football player who crushes enemies with pure muscle; or Flame, a speedy British brawler who's perfect for beginners. The levels stand out with super gritty, post-apocalyptic vibes: broken roads, burning trash, crows picking at skeletons, and just a constant feeling of, yo, this city's gone to hell. Forget just grabbing a pipe. You'll pull up steel girders and smashed up pillars for weapons. Need a snack? Just eat a frog, a bird, even a rat you find lying around. The enemies are off the wall: mutant moles, burly freaks, and absolutely bonkers bosses. Sometimes you even beat a boss by smashing them under a giant compactor. With brutal action, killer animations, and weirdly memorable style, Undercover Cops is unlike any other arcade brawler, and an absolute must if you like your games wild and gritty. B-Rat Boys. Want a beat-em-up that's got more style than just straight-up street fights? B-Rat Boys from 1992 is pure arcade energy with a hip-hop, roller-skating twist. Made by Kaneko, this game lets you and up to 2 friends throw down as 3 unique street kids, each rocking their own moves and look. The whole vibe oozes 90s Japanese love for American hip-hop. Think boomboxes, graffiti, and one of the earliest rap soundtracks you'll ever hear in an arcade, complete with actual vocals. The stages keep things wild. You're not just punching geeks in alleys, you're roller skating through city streets, smashing enemies in a wacky theme park, dodging weirdos on moving logs, and even clashing with outright ridiculous bosses like giant mecha suits and crazy carnival strongmen. The action is pretty simple: punch, kick, jump, and unleash those awesome throws while picking up bats, sticks, and whatever else is lying around. The best part? If you make it to the end with friends, you'll battle each other to see who's the real champ. It never got a home console port, so hunting down B-Rap boys at an arcade is like finding hidden treasure. If you want a beat-em-up that's colourful, different, and just a bit wild, this one's a must-play. Alien Storm. Arcades in the early 90s were wild, and Alien Storm is total proof. This Sega classic throws you into the middle of an alien invasion where nothing is safe. Enemies literally bust out of lamp posts, mailboxes, even garbage cans. You roll as the Alien Busters squad. There's Garth with his zappy gun, Karen who torches baddies with a flamethrower, and Scooter, the robot who dishes out electric pain and doesn't skip on the explosions. Each hero's got their own weapons and screen-filling special attack that wipes out every slimy creep in sight. Gameplay seriously keeps you on your toes. It's part side-scrolling brawler, part shooter, and sometimes you're just running down the street, blasting everything in a wild chase. Between the goofy bonus rounds and enemies that literally melt, split, and change shapes, you never know what's coming next. The art's wacky, the sound effects are pure nostalgia, and those pixel aliens still look gross in the best way. Toss in the fact that your friends could jump in, up to 3 at once, and it's the kind of chaotic, laughter-filled game night you just don't forget. Alien Storm may not get as much love as the biggest arcade hit, but it's a hidden gem packed with that pure, over-the-top arcade magic. Shadow Force. Ever wish you could swap bodies with the bad guys you're fighting? Shadow Force from 1993 actually lets you do that. Forget just sticking to your ninja or beast man. This game lets you body hop into almost any enemy on screen. Sounds interesting, right? And suddenly you're chucking punches as a robot, brawling as a mutant, or slicing through goons as a ninja clone. That alone makes every stage totally unpredictable and way more fun than your average arcade brawler. The vibe is pure cyberpunk chaos. Neon-lit cities, monster-infested hideouts, wild-looking bosses, and an evil genius named Dr. Wong running the show. You and your squad of 4 heroes each have their own crazy moves, and the speedy controls feel more like a one-on-one fighting game than a regular beat-em-up. There are even special move inputs, so you can look slick while smashing robot baddies. On top of all the action, Shadow Force throws in little versus rounds and tons of wild enemy transformations that keep you guessing. It's a hidden arcade classic for anyone sick of the usual beat-em-ups. So if you're searching for something offbeat, stylish, and packed with weird superpowers, this is your next must-play. Battle Circuit. Battle Circuit is one of the coolest and most unique arcade beat-em-ups Capcom ever made. Released in 1997, feels like playing through a wild comic book or Saturday morning cartoon. You choose from a group of oddball bounty hunters, like a cyborg superhero, a mutant plant, a stylish fighter with claws, and even a girl who rides a giant pink ostrich. You need to stop a mad scientist and his weird gang from taking over the world's computers with a powerful disc. The gameplay is fast and colourful. You fight through crazy futuristic cities, smash silly enemies, and take on mutant bosses in each stage. Between levels, you use coins you've collected to buy upgrades and unlock new moves that make your character even flashier and more fun to play. Up to 4 friends can play together, pulling off big combos and screen-filling specials for awesome co-op chaos. Battle Circuit stands out for its bright art, funny characters, and non-stop action. It didn't show up in most arcades outside Japan, so it's a hidden gem for beat-em-up fans. If you want something playful, creative, and just plain fun, Battle Circuit is a perfect pick. Denjin Makai. Let's talk about a hidden arcade gem that mixes sci-fi, mutants, and pure brawler fun, Denjin Makai. This game sends you to the year 2079, where the streets are crawling with cyber thugs, weird mutants, and twisted criminals, and it's up to the Ghost Chaser squad to set things straight. You get to pick from a wild lineup: a cyborg cop, a beastman, a swordsman, and a few other heroes, each with their own slick moves and flashy combos. The gameplay is super smooth and satisfying. Smack down enemies, toss them around, and even slam them into each other for extra chaos. There's tons of team-up potential. Grab a buddy and you'll pull off wicked co-op finishers that clear out whole gangs. The stages constantly change things up, with everything from neon city streets to futuristic amusement parks and creepy labs. Boss fights get straight up epic as you face off against super mutants, evil robots, and even weirder stuff. What's cool is the game never gets too complicated, but still feels fresh every level. It may not have hit big outside Japan, but Denjin Makai is legit arcade goodness, with big sprites, wild moves, and a futuristic style that makes it stand out in any retro lineup. Gaia Crusaders. How about a beat-em-up where elemental powers, wild monsters, and full-on apocalypse vibes all crash together? That's Gaia Crusaders. Released by Noise Factory in 1999, this arcade brawler drops you and a buddy into a future where the world's basically falling apart. Nature's in chaos, freaky creatures are everywhere, and it's all because the Devil King smashed the legendary Gaia orb into pieces. You get to pick from a squad of magical warriors, each rocking their own flashy elemental powers like fire, wind, or water. As you punch, kick, and throw your way through thugs and boss monsters, you can pick up magic orbs, grab the right one, and your hero will bust out massive screen-clearing spells that melt everything around. The action stays fresh, with tag-team super moves, crazy stage designs, giant statues, weird temples, crumbling cities, and some ridiculously cool enemy designs that keep every fight looking awesome. It never got a console port, so playing Gaia Crusaders in the arcade felt like finding secret treasure. With big sprites, sharp animation, and elemental attacks that make each run different, this is the late 90s beat-em-up that deserves way more love. If you crave fast, fun, and flashy old-school action, don't sleep on this one. Armored Warriors. Armored Warriors is the ultimate 90s mech brawler that probably flew under your radar. This arcade gem lets you and up to two buddies pilot gigantic battle mechs, basically walking tanks with fists. The story's simple. Earth and a space colony are at war, and you're part of an elite squad sent in to blast through robot armies and giant sci-fi monsters to restore the peace. What makes Armored Warriors awesome is all the mechanical mayhem. You're not just smashing enemies, you get to rip off their arms, legs, and weapons, then bolt them onto your own robot for crazy custom combos. Want chainsaw arms, missile racks, or spider legs? Just grab the parts mid-fight. Each stage is filled with explosive action, screen-filling bosses, and sharp, colourful pixel art that's pure arcade eye candy. Capcom's signature brawler controls are here, so expect fun combos, power moves, and those super satisfying finishes. The chaos ramps up the more friends you bring along, turning every level into a wild factory of explosions and metal parts. If you love big robots, loud action, and old-school multiplayer madness, Armored Warriors is an absolute must-play for beat-em-up fans. And there you have it, 15 forgotten arcade beat-em-ups that are straight-up gems, each one still totally worth your time. Whether you're into monster hunting, robot smashing, wild co-op action, or just want something totally different from the usual Street Fighter or Final Fight, these games deliver the kind of chaotic fun that only classic arcades could. You'll find wild mechanics, bizarre enemies, and laugh-out-loud moments you just don't get in modern games. So next time you're itching for some retro brawling with friends, dig into this list. You might just discover a new old favorite to button mash the night away.